welcome back to another video on SBPElectronics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect your Stadia controller to your ESP32 through Bluetooth. So for this, you're going to need to buy a Stadia controller. You can easily just buy them off eBay or Amazon. As you can see, they're very, very cheap, going from £6 to max £16. Okay, so now you've bought your Stadia controller, go to stadia.google.com/controller. Once you're there, you'll see this button. Press that says switch to Bluetooth mode. Make sure you press that button. Once you press it, you'll get two boxes with two buttons. Press the one on the left that says start and accept the Google terms, otherwise you can't go on to proceed to the next step. Once you're there, make sure you plug your controller in. So let me do that. And it has to be charged for 30 minutes. If your controller isn't charged for 30 minutes, then it won't work. And you must be using a data cable. Okay, then press continue once you plugged it in. Press allow Chrome to verify. And press the Stadia controller that will be there. Okay, so now unplug your controller to power it off. Then while holding the two dot button, the triple dot button on the top left corner, plug it in. You should not get anything. You should not get any color. If there is color, then retry that step. Once that happens, press the triple dots, that funny sign with those four dots. Press A and Y all at the same time. 3, 2, 1, go. And then press the next step. And press this button that says allow Chrome to download. It should say SBPElectronics family. That means it has unlocked your controller. If not, then retry that step. Now the download has been complete with Bluetooth, and press the next step again. Now the Chrome has to install Bluetooth mode onto the controller, so press allow Chrome to install and pick your device. Now we have to wait a while it happens. So with this Stadia controller, you could do a lot of things, like controlling servos, stepper motors, and more. I will show you that in a while. Okay, so your controller is in Bluetooth mode, and compared to Bluetooth devices, you can now unplug the controller. So I'm going to now unplug my controller. Okay, so now that's done, we'll go to the code. Okay, so the first part, you don't need anything except an ESP32 and your ESP32 cable. So make sure your ESP32 is plugged into your PC. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to Tools and Manage Libraries. So you're going to want to install the BLE_gamepad. So you install the ESP32 BLE gamepad. So I've already installed it, but mine needs an update, so I'm going to quickly update it. And you want to press install all. Okay, so once you've installed it, you can go File, Examples. In Examples, go to Bluetooth Pad 32 ESP32 and press Controller. So there are three main parts of its code. The first part is the dump gamepad. This is all your buttons on your Stadia controller. But this doesn't have, because this is a Stadia controller and this is built for other controllers, it doesn't have every single button on the Stadia controller, but it has most of them. And then the second important part is the process gamepad. This is where you can set what buttons do what. So make sure when you run the code, you write everything down, which button is which code number, as I'll show you after. And the last part is the void loop, where the process controllers get called. Now I will show you an example of this. Okay, so now my code is uploaded. Let's go to the serial monitor. So this is where the Stadia controller gets in. So press the reset on your board, EN, and hold the Stadia controller and the Y on your Stadia controller at the same time. It will flash orange and then it will go white to show that it has connected. Now you can start moving your controller around. So what I am doing right now is I'm moving the left joystick slowly to the left, and you can see that this slowly changes. So you can play around with it and note down everything. Like, for example, this button, the one I'm pressing right now, is D-pad times 0 times 0004. So you could note things down like that, and then you could create cooler stuff. I'll show you one of the things you can do with this. Okay, so now let's do an actual test. So first we're going to cut the servo. So the servo black wire or the servo GND, you connect to the ESP32 GND. And the servo red wire or the servo voltage or the power supply, you connect to the ESP32 5 volts. And then we have a servo input, which is usually yellow, and a signal pin, and you connect it to the ESP32 13. And then you've got the green light, which is connected to pin 32, and the blue light, which is connected to pin 12. Okay, so now let's review the new modified code. So the first part we're going to look at is this library. So this library, what it does is, it allows the servo to connect to the ESP specifically. So after that, we have a line for the servo pin, so we can define the servo pin. And then we set the servo pos and create the servo object. And then we have the light pins, the green and light pins. Okay, so now we're going to go into the void setup. The void setup is where I define or do the pin modes for the objects or servos. So as you can see, I've done the green and blue light and set them to output, and I've attached a servo pin to my servo, and I told my servo to turn to servo pos, which was 180 degrees. Okay, so now now we have got to the interesting part. So as you can see, I have set the D-pad. It checks if it is equal, not makes it equal. If it is equal to 0 times 0, 1, and if it is, it turns the green light on. But if it isn't on, if it isn't pressed down, then it will turn the green light off. And then I've done the same with the D-pad 0 times 0, 4. If it is pressed down, the blue light will turn on. If it isn't, the blue light will turn off. But this isn't state change. Okay, so now I'm onto the servo. So this is the x-axis. So it's the one on the left and the x of it. So the delta is how much the x-axis moves from left or to right. So if it is below 30, so if it's just moved a tiny bit because the person done it by accident, it won't do anything. But if it's moved over 30, then the servo pos will be delta plus itself. So then it will move extra, not just the same amount. And then it will divide by 200 for mapping it out, or for like not do super big jumps. And then it will do a set between 0 or 180. And then I'll tell it to move in that direction. Okay, so now let's upload the code so we can see what actually happens. Okay, so now my code has finally uploaded. So now let's hold the Stadia button and Y at the same time. Now let it connect to the ESP. So now watch as I slowly move this joystick. Just slowly move this joystick in the left direction. As you can hear or see, the servo is slowly moving. And if I move it the other direction, then the servo will move in the other direction. Now, let's go to the B-pad or the D-pad. Okay, so I'm gonna press 0 times 0, 4, and you'll see the blue light turn on. And when I press 0 times 0, 1, you'll see the green light turn on. If I press them both, nothing happens. That is a demonstration of the Stadia controller working. If you do need any help, you can always go to the Discord server, which I'll put in the link below. Also, do leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.